2 1.
Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
Give me an audio check.
All right, we're back. I think we got the problem resolved. It was in our video
Hope you
feed
missed
software. Yeah, there's about 4 different software programs that go into broadcasting the show, and one of them, the settings were on something different. Don't know how it got that way, but it
So everybody
did.
missed those funny comments you were making.
Yeah, that's right. They were hilarious.
Oh yeah,
Um,
because you're hilarious, Josh.
no, I mean, they heard me. They just didn't hear you guys. And some might argue that's what's important.
Over.
Some might argue that's what's important.
Hey, I think we had more views. The 2 episodes Josh wasn't here, didn't
He probably did, man. He probably
No.
did.
Picked off isn't picked off without Josh Griffin. So.
And if that was the case, I will gladly step aside and let Picked Off grow.
No. Picked off isn't picked off without you on here, that's for sure.
Yeah. It's been tough being out, man. I wanted to jump on the show. I'd pull it up and check in on you guys and everything. I just had a lot going on, and it was hard to
understand.
Hard to do all those different things at once. So let me get everybody's comments pulled up here.
I got the YouTube.
Good morning, Fireball. Matt Dummett, Scott Callhorn, David Newcomb.
Duke Newcomb's on YouTube.
Duke Newcomb's on YouTube.
Different.
For now on.
Flint Williams said hello earlier on Facebook.
Gate City Blue Devil.
Yes, sir.
I can't get into the chat section for some reason. You guys will have to.
I can cover the YouTube.
Cover the YouTube chats. All right, man. So here we go. I'm back. We're joined by D4, Brandon, and as always, Mr. Alex Carter. Carter's got him some professional setup going. You heard me yammering on about that in the first attempt to stream. Can the audience give us a sound check? Can you hear Carter and Brandon?
Can you hear
me? Continue on any further. Yeah, I can hear you.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Are you gonna? You have a microphone on your headset. Why are you gonna hold one in your hand?
I don't know what to do with my hands. Channeling my inner Ricky Bobby.
Yep.
BVD's back.
BVD's back.
Scott said sounds good.
Everything sounds good? Good.
He asked why am I holding a certain vibrating toy. That's all I'll say.
Oh, man. Are we live on YouTube?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Okay.
Look at this. It's live on YouTube.
I just can't find it for some reason. I want to see what everybody's saying.
Oh.
Mike Bridges, first time running into the show. Welcome, Mike Bridges, to your first show on Picked Off.
Yeah, I can't get it out of the previous broadcasts.
Fireball says he's on fire.
Hashtag professional.
Yeah, well, when Josh finds the comments, we got a lot of good stuff for you guys.
Yeah, we don't do it any other way. All right. So pretty jam-packed show today. We got a lot of current events. We got a moment in Vol history. Carter's going to grind his gears, and he's going to do it on the fly. I guess we don't have anything prepared, but you're going to find something to get pissed off about. All right. And then we're going to do our top 5, and we're going top 5 dirtiest professional athletes. Or are we just athletes in general? College. professional.
We could do college if you
what are we
think
doing?
of a good
I
I
mean,
got them all across the board.
Cash Daniels tried to break somebody's ankle.
Very true.
There's been a lot of things that happen in college.
So y'all think about your dirtiest player that you like.
Yeah, dirtiest meaning rule breaking, dirty playing, not the
Mhm.
guys that you found on your Pornhub feed that used to be
Hey,
NFL athletes.
hey, Josh,
What's up?
guess what day it is?
It's TikTok Tuesday.
No, it's TikTok Tuesday.
Yep, it is TikTok Tuesday. We're going to do that too. We got a whack-ass tradition, but we're flipping the script on that one. It's going to be a badass tradition. We've got General Nealon's 7 memes, a staple of the Picked Off show, and a dumpster fire of the day. We'll close her out with a salute to the ladies of the SEC. So how's all that sound to you?
Sounds good.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Don't forget, top comment of the show is going to win that coveted Golden Keyboard Award. Be creative. Throw some shade. Throw a funny joke out there. Trash talk another team. Whatever you got to do to stand out in the comment section, we're going to give you that Golden Keyboard Award. Carter's going to dig into his prize closet, where he has all kinds of fun things, including vibrating toys that he brings on the show. He'll mail you something out as a thank you for being one of Picked Off's top fans. So we appreciate that. All right, we better jump right into it. We got a late start going here. We're going to roll into our current events. Mr. Carter, leading off, The Rock acquires the XFL.
Well, that's Rock's got a lot of money, and I'm gonna go ahead and say this: I love Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I loved him as a wrestler. Some of his movies are good. He doesn't have to say yes to every script he receives, though. But neither here nor there. I don't think it's going to matter. I just don't see the XFL ever lasting.
You can't compete with the NFL.
Yeah, it's it's going to be hard to compete with the NFL because of the caliber of athletes. There's an obvious disparity in NFL talent and anybody else or any other league that starts. However, you know, if they are willing to throw out some serious contracts and everything and start pulling some players away from the NFL, you might see. And Dwayne Johnson's no business slouch, man. He knows what he's doing. So I can't imagine that he'll make the same mistakes that others have in the past. It may not be top quality athletes that you get, but you maybe get some, some outlandish rules or something like that. Something that really makes it entertaining. Dwayne's he's an entertainer, man. He knows the business. He knows how to do it. So it'll be interesting to see how it transitions.
I'm just going to put this out there. I believe steroids will be legal.
That's possible. It's possible.
So
make it a lot more fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I remember how fun baseball was, right?
Give them weapons, something like that.
John Tulloch on Facebook says if XFL leaves politics out, I'm on board.
There you go. That'd be enough to have a mass exodus of fans from the NFL. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So, is everybody else excited about The Rock picking up the XFL? I mean, I am. I think it'll be interesting to see his take on football.
Just more content.
Former Miami Hurricane.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Next up, current events. Gary Patterson said the N word with a hard R. Big mistake.
You can't do that. It's no bueno.
It is no bueno.
I've heard reports that it's just one player. I've heard reports that the entire team walked out on him because he was making an example. So
I don't care. I
only
mean,
those.
you can't say the word. I don't care. I know the way he was supposedly using it, saying like you can't say, period. You can't say it,
What were you gonna say,
no matter
Carter?
how. Well, oh yeah, haha. I
don't
like being on picked off.
don't bring. Hey man, let's make the show go national headlines here, Carter. Go ahead and say what you were gonna say. No,
Yeah,
yeah, there's no excuse for it, even if you're using it as an example. Um, so he learned his lesson, and I mean, I don't know what'll come of it. It'll be interesting to see if there, if it develops into anything else, or um, you know, if he issues an apology to his team, or what. All I've heard is that it happened, that the event occurred, and that the entire team walked out. That's the report that I read. That's the article that I read. So no excuse for it in any context anymore. It's just off limits. No go. All right, moving right along. The Cardinals and the Marlins.
ugh. Way to go! Way to go, Marlins.
Yeah,
They had to go out and party in the ATL and down on South Beach, getting some tail, and got the Rona. Got the Rona
out
and
chasing
hurt
the
and met
whale
the
tail
Cardinals.
and caught the corona.
Got the Corona. You're trying to screw up my Brave season, and I'm not okay with it. So stop it. Well, and the MLB
But
commissioner basically said, "Hey, we don't care. You didn't. There was
exactly.
no rule that said they had to stay in a bubble or anything, but." They're not going to punish the rest of the league because of one team's flaws or two teams' flaws. But go ahead, Brandon.
Yeah, he came out and he said that it doesn't matter the postponements, regardless. They're moving forward with the season, so I don't look for it to affect it too much. They may, push those to because it's only a 60-game season, correct?
Yeah.
Yep, 60-game season this year.
So, push it on, get those later on. If it matters, it matters. If the series is coming with playoff implications, that's one thing. But right now we're at the beginning, and I agree with him. Push on.
And it's not like the Marlins are going to make any impact. Well, this is the only way they could make an impact was to try to, give everyone the Rona. Shame on you, Marlins. You get the pointy end.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna. I think what we're seeing is the inevitable is going to happen. We're trying to reinstate life as we know it in some form of normalcy within our society, and as we are, reintroducing some things that we had originally canceled or banned or postponed, more and more people are getting infected with the virus, or at least testing positive.
Mm-hmm.
And that being the case, the more and more of the population are going to get it, and ultimately, I think a vast majority of the population will have had the virus, and we'll have some immunity, and we can kind of return to things as they were. So
do you think everyone's gonna do you think that the season will finish?
do I think the baseball season will finish out?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't. I mean, if they, I mean, I guess if players are getting violently ill, and it's just sweeping through the league, they'll probably shut it down for the safety of the players. That'll come from the players union, but no, they're not symptomatic. I haven't heard any reports out of Miami that the Marlins have all tested positive for coronavirus and they're all violently ill, so they can't play their games. I think they're just asymptomatic or mild symptom type scenarios, and I think if that continues to be the case, as more and more people test positive, then things are going to return back to how they were before.
All right.
I don't see how he couldn't. I mean, you know, if you got a bunch of people say, you know, oh, we've tested and 150 major league players are positive for coronavirus, and out of the 150, only 2 had mild symptoms. You know, I don't see how they justify canceling the season for that. And the players want to get paid.
Yeah.
You know, if they're not on the field, they're not getting paid. So they've got just as much interest in getting out on the diamond as the owners and the league do. Not to mention the advertisers, sponsors, and all the people that are employed by professional sports.
That's true.
All right. What's going on in the NFL, Carter?
48 players now. It was 45 when Brandon researched this, but now it's 48 players have opted out of playing in the 2020 season. And the way I understand it is, if they have, you know, the like health risk or whatever, they get paid $350,000. And if they're in, you know, normal health, they only get like 100 or something like that.
And out of those 45, VFL Jamon James was one of those.
Somebody-
right tackle for the Denver Broncos.
John Tulloch said, I hope the rock bottom is legal when tackling in the XFL.
Just not the people's elbow, which is the weakest move ever.
That would be great. Let's
we got an
see.
early
John
leader.
Rogers wants to
We
know
got
if
a-
this is a Vol show. Yeah, it's a Vol show. It's a sports show with a Volts problem. Is that how you put it, Carter?
It's a football show it's a comedy show with a football problem.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, we're a couple of Vol fans and a Longhorn sitting there in the middle. And most of the college football news that you're gonna hear us talk about has to do with something, you know, going on with Tennessee. I mean, we're in the off season here, and so, you know, we're talking about the entire world of sports. I mean, I think these coronavirus things are important, whether you're a Vol fan or not, and it affects the Tennessee's football season, because if the NFL shuts it down, and the MLB shuts it down, and the NBA shuts it down because all these players are getting infected and all this stuff, there's no way college is going to go through with the season. So
No.
keeping an eye on these and keeping a barometer on what's going on in professional sports, I think is going to help us determine whether or not we're going to have a college football season. And it is right around the corner. They are coming down to the wire on decision time.
NBA's doing it right. You know,
What is the NBA
Listen,
doing right that no one else is doing?
Brandon?
Do what now?
He wants to know about the NBA. What the NBA's doing right that no one else is doing.
Oh, yeah, the bubble.
Yeah.
They're not, you know, if you leave that bubble, you have to be tested and quarantined when you come back. I wish that they could do that with football teams, you know, stay in your area, do online courses, but you know, there's always going to be those, oh, well, you know, they're cheating, you know, somebody's doing it for them, blah 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 blah. So, you know, I don't look forward to them. I think we'll start a season. I don't highly doubt if we'll finish.
Guys, we lost a viewer.
For what?
He got upset that we're not talking about Vol stuff.
Who is that?
That'd be Wayne Moore. He said, so far,
Oh.
everything other than Vol topics, bye.
Well,
We'll miss you, Wayne. It was a beautiful, beautiful relationship. And we understand, man. If you got to move on, you got to move on.
Guess we're just not allowed to cover other things.
this isn't Have It This isn't Wayne's World, Wayne.
Were you about to say it's not Burger King? This ain't Burger King. You can't have it your way. No, I mean it is. It's a fan-driven show. I think fans
Yeah.
want to hear this. If we talked about Vol stuff all day long, we'd run out of stuff to talk about. So
Yeah.
we're talking about everything. These are all. It's all relates back to Tennessee. Again.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're talking about Juwan James just now.
Yep, Juwan James, VFL. That is how we that is how we came across these topics. We're searching everything that's going on in Vol news and what's going on with Tennessee's football program or their baseball program or their basketball program, and related stories come up. Juwan James opts out of playing in the NFL. He's a VFL. Is Tennessee going to have a season? Well, that brings us to our next story.
Well,
Virginia
we got
Tech.
10 games.
Yeah, Virginia Tech.
We're going 10 games. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. Talk to me about Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech cornerback Caleb Farley opted out of the season and has declared for the draft already. This could start a trickle effect with these high-profile players.
I think so. These guys, why risk it to get the biscuit? Why get out on the field in college when I can declare for the draft? It could.
He was projected as a first-round draft pick, so
yeah, it could absolutely affect what the college football season looks like. It could. I mean, it could lead to complete rule changes.
I would have to probably NCAA. They'll try to do something. Which I think that one of the biggest things I figured, to talk about is we're going to 10 games now.
Mm-hmm.
And supposedly we're fixing to be playing Ole Miss and LSU. That's what everybody keeps saying. Nothing official has come out, but it would make sense because if you look at the schedule, next year's schedule, we were supposed to play Ole Miss at home. That was our rotational West team because Alabama's our permanent. And then in 2022, we're supposed to play at LSU. So if that is the way they're going to do it, then we would add Ole Miss, LSU. When would we play those games? I don't know. We don't even know if we'll be playing Florida the first game or we'll be playing Alabama on the third Saturday in October or how that's going to work. Hell, we were hoping to play Georgia in November. That could be moved to first game for all we know. It's just a big, mess right now.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how it all hashes out. Did they finalize the vote on the how they were going to set the season, the schedules? I know that they had 3 different options. I believe one was like computer based, one was power rankings based, by committee, and they would try to distribute out some of the power to some teams that had some lighter schedules and things like that, and then the third option was just you're playing your rotation, your cross divisional rotation, playing it all out, and I think the next 2 seasons in one season.
That would be interesting if Ole Miss comes to Neyland. That'd be Lane Kiffin's first ever return as a head coach.
Yeah, I mean he came back as an assistant, and I thought Vol Nation would boo the crap out of him, and he didn't really get, it wasn't a warm welcome, but he didn't really get run out of the stadium either.
Well, when they announced the head coach of the Ole Miss Rebels is Lane Kiffin,
yeah,
I don't know,
it'll
we'll
probably
see.
go nuts. Yeah, you're right.
Which we won't even have 100,000 people there because what Fulmer said the other day that Neyland will not be at 100% capacity. He didn't say how much, but he did say that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean that's at a stadium like Neyland, any stadium the seats are pretty tight, but Neyland, man, for big old boys like me, it's rough in there. So
yes,
all right, pretty much all that's going on current news. Let's go back in time to 1985.
1985, yes sir, great year. I'm sure BVD would remember this game better than me, but Tennessee versus Alabama, 1985, third Saturday in October. We got Tony T.D. Robinson. Alabama's got their third, I think Perkins is in his third year at Alabama, but huge win for us that year. I think Robinson actually got injured, and we had to put in Daryl Dickey, the backup, to finish the game. But we got a clip for you, so just sit back and enjoy.
Led by the Orange
It's football
Crush.
time in Tennessee from Legion Field in Birmingham. It's time for Southeastern Conference football. The Alabama Crimson Tide, coached by third-year mentor Ray Perkins, now 4-1 overall, 2-0 in the Southeastern Conference, against the Tennessee Volunteers, coached by Johnny Majors in his 9th year, now 2-1-1 overall, 1-1 in the league. Third down long for the Vols. Robinson, here comes pressure. Robinson steps up, could run, instead dumps the pass out here, pulled down at the 45, down to the 40, down to the 35, down to the 30. This is Keith Davis, who is finally roamed out of bounds at the 28-yard line of the Crimson Tide, where Tennessee will have it first down and 10 to go. Robinson could have run, then he caught a glimpse of the streaking Keith Davis coming across the middle, went underneath to him, and Davis ends up with a 25-yard sprint, and it's first down, Tennessee. Alabama with two wideouts right. Shula with time across the middle. The pass is going to be intercepted. Tennessee at the 30, back to the 35, to the 40. Needs a block on the near side, gets one. Has the ball to the 38, and is knocked down as he gets to the 38-yard line. That's Charles Davis with his interception. Shula back to throw. Left-handed. Out into the flat. Broken up. Was that intercepted in midair? Ladies and gentlemen, what a play by Dale Jones. He was 2 feet away from Mike Shula, and as Shula released the ball, Dale Jones just reached out and picked it out of midair. An unbelievable interception by a big play player, Dale Jones Jr. Cleveland, Tennessee. The Tide in the game, 6 of 10 on third down conversion. Shula has the play. The tight end Chandler will be deployed to the left side. I formation. Bell is into the boundary right. Pitch will go back to Hill. Hill is swarmed and dropped short of a first down by Darren Miller. And Tennessee, Bill, defensively absolutely had that play cold.
They really did. They came up and played that perfectly. That's put Alabama in decision-making time right now, John. It's fourth down and about 4.
Into the game, Tiffin, who will be attempting a 61-yard field goal. Tennessee leads 16-14. And so, with 4 seconds to go in the game, it's down to this. Can Van Tiffin, with the wind at his back, knock home the field goal? There's the kick. It is coming downfield. It is going to be short. The football game is over.
There you go.
Does John Ward not get you just fired up?
He does. Absolutely. Yeah, that's it. It gives me chills hearing his voice. I love it.
You
One of the
should.
greatest of all time.
TikTok Chess Hall has joined us.
His contribution to the show. Wee.
He was late.
Fireball says we're going to throw oranges at Kiffin this time.
Well, might get you thrown in jail, but hey.
There you go. So Tennessee narrowly takes down Alabama. And a great moment in ball history. Anytime we beat them Crimson Tide, it's a good time.
I don't care if we beat them 3-2, as long as we beat them.
I know it. That was there was a lot of turnovers and a low scoring game. That was a complete defensive battle.
Yeah, it was. And Dale Jones made an incredible interception, which, you know, Josh, there is something that I don't, and I'm sure you may know this, but in case you don't know this, there was do you know that the stripes are back, right?
I do.
Okay. Well, just making sure.
Yes, sir.
Carter got all kinds of excited about that.
I got super duper excited about that. You just look at that. That is beautiful.
Yes, sir.
That's how it should be.
It is a beautiful thing. All right, Carter, you gonna grind your gears now?
Hail to the yeah. So everybody, I know D4 and Josh and most everybody probably in the comments loves has a gaming console, whether it's a PlayStation or an Xbox. I guess some people might have the Switch, but what I'm going to grind my gears about today is not about it's more about a person, and that person is Ed O'Bannon. If you don't know who Ed O'Bannon is, he is the reason why we don't have an NCAA football game anymore. Because Mr. O'Bannon decided to file a lawsuit against EA Sports because of the real life characteristics of players on the game, which started a trickle effect for lots of players wanting. Now, look, whether you're on the side of players should be paid or they shouldn't be paid, I guess I also should be mad at EA Sports. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Man, that's my favorite game ever.
EA Sports, they did what they were supposed to do in terms of keeping players' names off of jerseys and profiles and all that stuff.
Exactly.
You can't help that they, you can't help but make the team look like what the team looks like if you're going to have a game that's released every year. You can't release a new game and have all these made up computer players where, Vanderbilt might be the number one team in the nation because of their made up computer players or something. People aren't going to buy that.
Mm-mm.
And when you've got, there's lots of people out there with very little responsibility and a lot of time on their hands, and somebody's going to go through and they're going to create that roster for every team.
Roster share.
And they're going to share that roster around and get everybody's numbers and names back on their jerseys and all that stuff. I mean, it's just going to happen, but it's not like anything that EA did. It's a fan made, it would essentially be like, banning all Star Wars movies because fans went in and made, what do they call that? What do they call it when the fans make remastered videos of Star Wars and stuff like that? Like,
fan films, kind of.
Yeah, stuff like that. Fan trailers and things
parodies.
Like that. Yeah. So the whole. I mean, I guess it held up in a court, so that there was enough there for the court to say, yeah, they're using the players' likenesses and profiting off of it. But what else are you going to do? Just have a bunch of 99 grade players in the whole roster and let everybody go through and hand edit them themselves? I mean, I never understood it to start with and why it got shut down. But I think it's a matter of time before it comes back.
What do you think, D4?
That would probably be Christmas to most people that grew up in that era. I mean, they have to. I mean, I can get on mine right now, and I can play as Jarrett Garantano. I can play as Eric Gray. It doesn't matter. That never stopped anybody from the graphics. Yes, the graphics are still, prehistoric and everything, but it doesn't stop you from using their likeness.
No.
So it's not going to do any difference. Just give the college players a little chunk of change, equally across the board. Give them $20,000 and let's just go on with it. They want to pay players anyway, so I'm cool with it.
They don't even have FCS teams on there like they used to. I mean, you could play with UT Martin or Alabama A&M, and they don't even have those. They have like FCS Southeast or some cool the Howlers or some crap.
And there's an
The
interesting
Citadel
conversation
or-
going on down in the, I think it's the YouTube chat. I got
Uh-oh.
a gentleman by the name of Sven Kreuzberg jumped into the chat, said, "Good afternoon, Vol Nation. What do you think the schedule will be?" He's a Mississippi State fan,
Oh, boy.
and somebody was it Scott Callhorn? What are your thoughts about Mike Leach? Man, I got to say, I would have been pumped to have Mike Leach come to Tennessee. I mean, that's a writer's dream anyway,
Oh, man.
in terms of being able to have just constant material to write about. And,
The Egg
video
Bowl
clips
just
and-
went, yeah.
yeah, the Egg Bowl went from meh for my purposes to that's number one on my list of things I want to watch this upcoming season. I hope we
Oh,
have a
man.
season for that purpose.
Yeah. Like, but I mean, in normal, well, I don't think when they play, if they do play and everything, that Egg Bowl, that's usually like maybe a Friday night because of the Thanksgiving weekend, SEC network game. That's like an ESPN's prime time slot now.
Yeah, it's got to be. That. I don't care what they've set the over under at. I'm going with the over. That game is going to be a lights out air raid show. I mean, it's just going to be. It has to be like plus 90.
Gotcha. Yeah.
That's going to be a good one.
Good.
Can't wait.
As far as the scheduling goes, I think they will do what they've said about adding of course, we're doing 10 games, and I think we'll play the 2021 and 2022 opponents. I don't know how they'll do about the dates. I don't know, because, I mean, everybody thinks that Tennessee is going to play Florida first game, but we don't, still kind of up in the air about that. But
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, the state of football in the state of Mississippi went from, barely polished turd to now it's a it's all eyes on Mississippi. I just can't wait.
yeah, went from chicken shit to chicken salad overnight.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to our top 5. Carter, we got a special top 5 today. Top 5 dirtiest athletes of all time. I am woefully unprepared for this one, so I will shoot from the hip. I think I got a few.
Well, why don't we let D4 go first, and then you can go last. Give you time to think.
Alrighty. My number 5 is going to be Bill Laimbeer of the Detroit Bad Boy Pistons squad of the 80s. He used a combination of elbows, dirty playing, and this dude would have won an Oscar for the way he flopped. And he was easily one of the most hated players. And he was part of the squad that caused the Jordan rules, caused Jordan to actually get in there and work as hard as he could to actually get past them. So, and to beat it all, he's now a WNBA coach.
Well, my number 5 is I'm going to stick with basketball here. And I'm going to go with the big worm, or not the big worm, but worm, Dennis Rodman. Pretty dirty player. I wouldn't say he's a Bill Laimbeer, but, he was definitely an enforcer and did not mind, taking shots and giving them.
Yeah, he may be on the top of my list. Instantly, when you told me top 5 dirtiest players, Dennis Rodman popped into my head, and that says something. So he may be top, 1 or 2. But for number 5, I'm going to go with Pete Rose.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Pete Rose invented the sliding with the spikes up. He was
Yeah.
he was dirty. He cut more people's pants in the MLB than probably anybody. That may be a record that he holds if somebody went back and counted it up. I can't tell you how many times I saw Pete sliding in with the spikes up, bowling catchers over when they were clearly outside the base path and things like that. So Pete Rose was just a nasty player, man. He wanted that win.
I agree. So my number 4 is going to be Jack Tatum. I don't know if y'all remember him from back in the 70s with the Raiders. Most of his hits were considered legal back in the day, but they didn't call him the assassin for no reason. He struck fear in any wide receiver that come around, tight ends coming across the middle, and he's most infamous for the hit that paralyzed Darryl Stingley in the 1978 in a preseason game.
Jeez.
So, a preseason game. And he's still, to this day, yet to check on him, yet to apologize. So,
Yeah. So, my number 4, I'm going to go with baseball here, and he's one of the greats. But I'm going to go with Alex Rodriguez, A-Rod. Dirty player. I remember him charging the mound a few times, sliding hard into second, trying to knock people, running over catchers and stuff like that. But just, I've always thought he was kind of dirty, and especially when he was with the Yankees. So.
Yep. All right, number 4 for me, and we may lose some of the NASCAR faithful that we have in here, but Kyle Busch.
I knew it.
God, Kyle Busch is awful. I can't stand to watch him drive a race car, and I'm not even that big of a NASCAR fan. I mean, I go to the Bristol race every year, but I just, oh God, Kyle Busch is just so obnoxious.
All right, I'll go with my number 3. That's going to be Mr. Bill Romanowski.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen a crazier player. Him spitting in J.J. Stokes' face on national TV. And this guy was just a certified psychopath. It's like he turned it into backyard MMA when it was on his he was on that field. So that'd be my number 3.
I guess my number 3, I've kind of gone back and forth with this, but I hate to put him here, but Albert Hainsworth, stomped on a guy's face, pulled people over, driving in traffic, ran them off the roads, which I know that's not really on the field, but I mean, he's done some dirty stuff. There's no doubt about it. And he's unfortunately, he's a Tennessee ball, which I still got love for Albert Hainsworth. He's I've got to meet him and stuff like that, and got an autograph of him. But he was a great college player. He's a great NFL player. He's just a dirty ass player.
Fireball says Grayson Lambert is the dirty. I think he's so mad because he was always the backup. For real though, nobody was dirtier than Earnhardt. That's there. Earnhardt, they didn't call him the Intimidator for nothing.
That's a good point.
Yeah. All right. Moving back to baseball for me. Ty Cobb.
Wow, that's old school.
Ty Cobb, they say he may have been the Antichrist, man. He was dirty, spit at players, fought with players all the time. He beat a guy down who had no hands. A fan. He beat a fan down that had no hands. There's a lot of I mean, there's a lot of reasons to believe that he was highly racist, and just even his teammates hated him. Ty Cobb.
How do you beat a guy with no hands?
It happened. Look it up.
I believe it. Oh man. All right, D4, you're number 2, sir.
My number 2 is going to be Ndamukong Suh.
I
Yes.
figured that.
With the nut shots. I mean, I think that I've seen a clip where they said that you can find something dirty every single play, every single snap that he did, man. He's just one of the dirtiest. I mean, you guys have seen the clips. I mean, he stomped on a guy's crotch on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So
Scott
Tried to hurt
Cohorn.
Mr. Discount Double Check.
Scott Cohorn says number 1's got to be Butkus. But
Big
he
Bud.
also, and Ndamukong Suh, he also agrees with you on that one.
So my number 2, D4's already said it. I'm going to go with Bill Laimbeer. You know, he's pretty much said everything that I would say. He's Detroit Bad Boys. I mean, you could really put, you know, all those guys on this list. You know, Isaiah, you could put Rick Mahorn. We've already put Rodman. I mean, I have, so.
There's nobody dirtier than my number 1. I promise you that.
I
right.
think I got you beat.
I bet you don't.
Well, let's hear your number 2 first there, Josh.
All right, my number 2, I'm going to go with Dennis Rodman.
All right.
Bad boy of the NBA. Always has been, always will be. Dennis Rodman.
I don't know if I've got anybody beat, but go ahead there, D4. Who's your number 1?
My number 1 is Marty McSorley. Played in the NHL, one of the most brutal enforcers. He had 3,381 career penalty minutes. His most brutal hit was on Donald Brashear. Became one of the most shocking hits in sports history. It resulted in an assault conviction, a 1-year extension, 1-year suspension, and he never returned to the league.
Dude was a
guy
goon.
grade 3 concussion, and I mean, if you play a game and you, besides Ron Artest and all that with the fan stuff, but if you hit a guy so hard that you get an assault conviction, I mean, come on.
It's pretty rough. He was definitely a goon. Had to be.
Who was it that hit Don Beebe and that it ended his career?
I don't know.
I don't remember who it was. Somebody laid him out, broke his neck.
Well, I'm gonna go with my number 1 here. Woody Hayes. All right. He's a coach, but I mean, I think it was against Clemson. You know, he was. I mean, he tried to fight opposing players. He would fight his own players. I mean, dude was dirty. You know, I mean, there's times where, he would try to tell his players to hurt the other team, go for the knees, all that stuff. So that's my number 1.
Yeah, I guess in that respect, you could put Bobby Knight in there too. Bobby Knight throwing chairs across the, hitting players and all that crap he did back in his day. Very animated guy. All right, so my number 1, and after listening to y'all's number 1, I do have you beat because you probably didn't even think of this one.
Drum roll.
Tanya Harding.
Oh,
that was my. I was going to be my honorable mention.
You can't leave out Tanya Harding when it comes. Who could be a dirty figure skater? It takes a very sadistic type person to be a dirty figure skater. She kneecapped Nancy Kerrigan and trying to get a better spot in the Olympic Games. Unbelievable scenario. Tonya Harding,
Yeah,
the dirtiest athlete of all time.
yeah, I have to give you the win on that one.
I literally had that as my honorable mention too. Jesus.
I don't know how you didn't put her at your number one if she popped into your
I
head.
know.
There you go.
Yeah, I wish I'd even thought of
That's our top 5. That was fun. Good one.
Yeah, it was.
All right, moving into our Whack Ass Tradition segment. However, we're flipping the script on it today, and we're calling it the Badass Tradition. Carter, what is our badass tradition?
the greatest entrance in all of sports, running through the tee. It
Running
was started
through the
by,
tee.
Doug Dickey and Dr. Jay Julian of the, Pride of the Southland Marching Band. Just freaking, I'm telling you, it's the most exciting, 30 seconds of football, in my opinion. Or, it's awesome. We got a video.
We do have a video. Here we go. Sit back and enjoy the greatest entrance in all of sports. I have chills already.
It's time for Tennessee football. And when the pride of the Southland Band forms that main team, you are swimming in Southern College football pageantry.
It is routinely listed as one of the greatest entrances in all of sports. Running through the tee. Born from two of the greatest innovators in school history, the iconic introduction of the Tennessee Volunteers yields an unlikely backstory.
We were dressing in the east side of the stadium before the games, and that's where we were early on, and I decided I would rather be on the west side. Said, well, how are we going to get over there? That the other team comes out, we're going to have to run through the other team. So I asked Dr. Julian, I said, well, maybe the band could come up there and make up something. He said, well, I'll make a tee and you run through the tee. And so we decided to run through that tee, and it worked out, and the other team never bothered the band.
What began as a defensive maneuver quickly vaulted to one of Tennessee's illustrious traditions. The route has since shifted 90 degrees and now welcomes the Vols onto the field from the north end zone. To this day, fans routinely arrive early to catch the Pride's pregame performance, which is capped by this electric entrance and signals one thing.
It's football time in Tennessee.
There you go. I've got goosebumps. I've never been more ready for college football to start. I'm excited about a all-conference schedule.
Yep.
That's going to be interesting. No cupcakes. Every game's going to count to the T. I hope they don't take the band out of it. I hope they don't have some kind of, well, the band can't perform. We're just going to play the game and be done with it. Or, oh, man. They better run through the tee.
Yep.
It'll just be a really spread out tee because they'll all have to be 6 feet apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Run through the tee. Definitely one of the greatest entrances in all of sports. Definitely, I would say the greatest entrance in all of college sports.
I think so. What do you think,
Let's see.
Brandon? You're
For sure. Oh, for sure. I mean, that's got to be top 3 at least of the badass entrances.
He's a Longhorn fan, guys. He's a Longhorn fan.
My entire family is, and friends, everybody are UT fans and everything. I respect the T. I respect Tennessee. So, yeah.
Yeah, man. It's definitely, it's one of the things that captured me. When you live in Texas and the only football games that you've seen Tennessee play or televised, they don't always tout that running through the tee thing. They start the game up right before kickoff, and you don't get to see that pregame performance and everything. I didn't know a lot about it. And then when I came to my first Tennessee game in Neyland Stadium and they formed that tee and ran through it, I was like, man, this is lit. This is some legitimate football stuff right here. I didn't think anybody took football as seriously as the folks down in the great state of Texas. But Tennessee definitely does their part.
Oh, Ron Nugent on Facebook said, "Don't forget LeGarrette Blount."
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the guy that couldn't
Sucker
stay
puncher.
in the NFL because he was so dirty.
Oh, do you remember when he was at Oregon and he sucker punched the
Boise guy.
Shea McClellan from Boise State?
Yeah.
You know what I want to
Then
do?
try to fight the fans.
You know what I want to do? I think maybe maybe we'll do it Thursday. We'll do the top 5 fights in all of sports. Hockey
we should get
fights,
video of it.
baseball fights. We'll try to grab some video clips of all of them, and we'll have that prepped up. So, I mean, we could be looking at 10, 15 videos depending on how that rolls out. But yeah, let's do that for next Thursday. Top 5 fights in all of sports.
Ooh, like the Pat.
My mind is flooding right
Dallas
now.
Urban Hill. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Pacers. Yeah.
Yep. When Ron Artest went into the stands and started beating fans. Yeah. Yep. Don't spoil them. We'll bring them up. Top 5 fights coming up Thursday. Write that down so we don't forget.
Sure.
All right. It's time for General Neyland's 7 memes, brought to you by our sponsors, Tennessee Tap House, Hound Dogs of Knoxville, and Shelter Insurance. You are going to go watch the game anywhere. Of course, I know coronavirus. But if you're going to get out in public and watch the game with your buddies, Tennessee Tap House is the place to do it. Tell them that you're there with Volunteer Roadshow. They'll give you some free sweet tea, unlimited, bottomless sweet tea the entire time you're there. Hound Dogs in Knoxville. Check them out online at hdknoxville.com. But I promise you're doing yourself a disservice by just going to the website. Go into the store. It is of all heaven. And Shelter Insurance, 865-671-6451. We'll give you a quote on your auto, home, life, or commercial insurance. All right. General Neyland's 7 memes. Now that all the business is out of the way. Meme number 1. Gamecock fans be like, got my game face on. Tobey Maguire. Whose idea was it to cast Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man? As Peter.
No idea.
Terrible, terrible decision.
Yep.
All right, straight out of Clemson. I think we brought this one up whenever we had Pigskin Pete on, didn't we?
Oh, if we did, I'm sorry. I couldn't remember.
It's probably just in your Rolodex of memes. But yeah, that's a good one. College football fans make the best signs. Alabama, where Ancestry.com and eHarmony are the same. I make no apologies to our Bama fans who are watching today.
Me neither.
Bad tradition number 1 is when Vandy played Rocky Top after a win over Tennessee, and all the fans had to pass the band who played the song.
Yeah, that pissed me off too.
I don't always watch Kentucky basketball, but when I do, I take my teeth out and make out with my sister. So I didn't look at that one whenever you sent it over. I gotta be honest, I just loaded it in. That one caught me off guard. That one's good. All right. In this game, you never reach the final level. You just walk around telling people how you'll do it next year. Oh, Georgia. Vanderbilt fan faces when they saw the score. And last but not least, Dad, what's a win? I don't know, son. We're Mets fans. Carter's a big Braves fan, so he had to take his shot at the Mets, I'm sure.
Well, we beat the crap out of them the last series, so we
All
took
right.
3 out of 4.
What do we have going on in the comment section in terms of Golden Keyboard, man? Have we?
So
The one that I would pick would be the rock. I hope the rock bottom
That's-
is legal.
yeah,
in
that's good.
tackling.
That's good. Who said that?
John Tullock
John Tullock.
over on Facebook.
Okay, we'll remember that. John's in the running. John's in the lead. All right, so our dumpster fire of the day, Mr. Carter. You didn't know I was doing this. I
no,
think you told Brandon to leave the dumpster fire out, but I came up with one.
okay.
It's the bane of every sports fan's existence right now. Coronavirus. This fucker right
Coronavirus?
here. Dumpster fire of the day is the coronavirus. My God, I hate that thing.
Yeah, no kidding.
And there's
I think
a
everyone-
electron microscope picture of what it looks like. It's ruining everything. It's ruining absolutely everything. Who? Raise your hand in the comment section or say hell yeah if you're sick of the coronavirus.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Stone Cold ET. Y'all have never seen that.
D4 said hell yeah.
Oh my god. You ever seen Stone Cold ET?
What's that?
You ever seen Stone Cold ET?
Stone Cold ET. No.
Okay, it's a guy that he sounds just like Stone Cold Steve Austin. And he wears it like the vest, and the jean shorts, but he's got an ET mask on. And he'll go through drive-thrus. He's like, Stone Cold ET, want some White Castle burgers with a little onion and a little mustard. It's hilarious.
I'll have to check that out.
Oh yeah, you do.
So what was it about Stone Cold ET? What were you
I was saying, have y'all ever seen it?
I know,
Because
but
I said, oh
what brought
hell
that
yeah.
up? How'd we get to that? Oh hell yeah.
Because
Okay,
I said,
I got you.
oh hell yeah.
Oh hell yeah. Yeah. All right. That's our dumpster fire of the day. And now it's time for everybody's favorite part of the show, TikTok Tuesday. Carter, some of the ones that you sent me over I wasn't able to save, so we've only got a few. Yeah, we gotta watch those whenever we download. And it sucks because some of them are so good and you just can't download them. But
Oh, there was one in particular I was hoping you got, but I don't know. Maybe.
I bet you I know which one it is, and I don't think that I was able to get it. But here we go. We'll start it off nonetheless. Y'all remember when this happened?